Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another podcast of Six and Out. My name is Vellala, and on today's podcast we have Dhruv Pawar.
Hi guys, it's me, Dhruv. Yeah.
All right, so Dhruv, thanks for jo- um, joining this podcast today. And so I wanted to start off with a pretty simple question. I mean, you've obviously played really high levels of cricket, like men's nationals, U19 nationals, and minor league as well. So compared when we go back like 6, 7 years ago, like to EYCL, like how was the competition back then compared to now, and how many like academies have evolved, and players have evolved from different states, and how has it changed?
Um, I mean, if you look back at it, 7 years ago, 2017, 2018, minor league wasn't even a thing. So, if you go back then, EYCL was the main sort of like competition for us as kids. Like, nationals was like, I personally don't remember a nationals even existing at that time. So if any tournaments existed, it would be like UICO and then like NYCO, like those tournaments where we compete with teams like outside of our area, our tri-state area. But now since we have like nationals and like minor league and stuff, like we have like more access to compete with kids not just from tri-state area but from areas like across the country, and it helps us create like different zones so that we all know like okay like it like distinguishes us from like kids in like South Zone or like Bay Area or like Texas. I guess the cricket has just evolved more and it's become there's a pathway, a sense that like now it's like different like states are being distinguished and like creating different teams and being able to compete with one another.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously you played cricket for I don't know how long, maybe like 10 years, seven.
Yeah,
So
around
you've
then.
been playing for a while, and since a young age as well. So how has it shaped you as a person? Like, what have you learned from the game, and what have you from the game? Like, what have you put into your life, and what has it taught you in general?
um so I think that the game itself has taught me to be more, it's taught me how to manage time. I feel like sometimes it's like for us like as we go through like school and whatever, it's hard for us to always just it's it's hard for us to just focus on like one thing. Like I know during like fall, like as soon as school starts, like we still have games on the weekends, and then once like spring hits, like the season just starts. So I think those during those times it's like time management's a big thing because weekends are always packed and stuff. So if we have like exams, like we have to make sure that we get like like managing school versus managing cricket and like practice and all that. Like I guess time management is like one big thing that you learn. And then I guess another thing is just like having like dedication towards something else outside of school, because I feel like everyone needs to have like their own passion and something else that like helps them focus on things outside of school really so that they can themselves be better and like feel free and whatever and express themselves. So I think cricket is just like helped with that throughout the years of education that I've been.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, like we had the T20 World Cup in the like co-hosted by USA, and we also have like Major League now, and like a lot of local stars are being recognized through these two leagues, like Aaron Jones through the World Cup, Jesse Singh and actually Nethervalker through the World Cup as well. Jesse Singh through this to the past two games he's played. So now, where do you think USA Cricket goes from here after all the recognition we've gotten in the past 2 3 months?
I think from the recognition that we've gotten, it's clear that we're able to play at a high level of cricket. Obviously, maybe after beating Pakistan, that was like a big thing for us. Um, we were able to make it to the top eight, like the top eight section of the tournament, and that was really big because we were playing with all like countries that have like cricket's been like a big thing in their respective countries. So we're competing with like high level teams, and we've also had like pretty close games like with South Africa as such. So I think with the recognition, what happens is that we are like the players themselves. Like I think like Saurabh Netravarkar, I think there were talks about him making IPL. You know, like next year there's a mega auction going on, so you never know. Like a few of our guys might get picked up in that, and you know it just helps us as kids as well because we like our country gets more recognized. So the players that representing our country get to play in like different leagues like CPL, SAT 20, Big Bash, the 100. You know, as they end up traveling across the world to play these different leagues, I think it helps us as well because when we grow and then like you know different like IPL all these like selectors they'll be also looking and these scouts they'll also be looking at prospects from the US and helping us and you know eventually like some of us being able to go and play in these different leagues around the world and eventually you know helping us maybe with all that experience help win a World Cup.
Yeah. So do you think our like facilities will also get better? Like, like recent. I mean, a couple years back we were banned because of our debt, but like now, do you think because of the recognition we'll be gaining more money, more infrastructure, so that the kids have like the younger generation has like a better chance of prospering in cricket in different regions?
Definitely. I think, um, like Cricklings as such, it was Cricklings initially, but now it's Rajasthan Royals Academy. Like Rajasthan Royals has established their own academy over here, and so I think if we like infrastructure and everything will gradually grow and increase just from you know collaborations with people from here and showcasing that like there's actually potential and something for them like these people to come and see growth in and invest in. So yeah, I think definitely there'll be a lot of change in the upcoming 5 to 10 years or which we have seen like right now.
Yeah. So one final question, Dhruv. So obviously, like work in the Major League Cricket took place in North Carolina and Texas, which is like a really like American community. So like if you saw some of the games, you could see like glimpses of people, of like Americans actually at the game, and like many of them may not know the game. So what do you think? Like if a common man goes to a cricket game in North Carolina or Dallas, like what do you think they would learn? What is something that from cricket they can learn to their own lives or like just as a sport in general? You know, like what do they learn from the game?
I think first off, cricket here is gonna get compared to baseball. Obviously, if you go to any like American who's never played the game, they call the bowler the pitcher. So I feel like they're definitely they'll look at the game through similarities that they compare in within baseball. So runs in baseball come differently than runs here. Obviously, no team in baseball scores 180 runs, right? Like that's that's not a thing. So I feel like as an American, what they'll learn is that you have to bounce the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to pitch the ball, and the game is, I guess, it's just different fonts of the game. Like a bat swing in baseball is more horizontal, where here in cricket it ends up being like partially vertical. Like that's where we're taught play with the straight bat. And similarly in baseball, we end up chucking, right? We end up having our elbow 90 degrees, but in cricket we're taught that no, it has to be straight. So there's just different fonts of the same, I guess, same like bat and ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's about it, Dhruv. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is Six and Out, and my name is Abhi Vellala. See you next time. Is it done?